Hello friends, the article which we are analyzing today is published on Hindu, July 28. The title of the article is Needed, a Map for India's Foreign Policy. It is written by Stanley Johnny. So this article analyzes how in recent time the geopolitical situation of India has changed and what are the factors that brought this change, and what way India should work in the future to regain the same situation what India had before this change. So this article here analyzes this analysis is done of this article in three part. First part, we are analyzing the situation of India sometimes back, and now that how this situation geopolitical situation of India has changed in recent time. So this change from previous position of India to this new position of India, what are the variables involved in bringing that change? So this analysis is done in three part. So first part, where the India's position, geopolitical position, sometimes back we are going to analyze first. So we see that earlier India was in good relationship with Iran. India was working on Charbar port for connectivity to Afghanistan and other Central Asian country. So that work was going on, and also India was having a footprint in Afghanistan because lot of development work and people to people cooperation was there in the Afghanistan, and India was in peace with China also, and India was considered as a rising power in South Asia and Indian Ocean region, and our relationship with our neighbors but except Pakistan, it was more or less good. But suddenly we see that situation has changed. The trigger was military standoff with China, and that has exposed what way the neighborhood influence of India in its neighborhood has slipped, because we have seen the hostile behavior of Nepal particularly. It is under the influence of China, and Pakistan was earlier is already with China, and similarly we see the same tendency in Bangladesh and Sri Lanka also. So our neighborhood is coming under the influence of China, and China also started taking an aggressive and hostile approach towards India, and for this region we see that recent standoff of India with China, where China is trying to encroach upon Indian territory, and Iran also has given a surprise to India, particularly this recent decision of Iran not to invite Indian company for making of railway tracks. And again Iran is making a overture towards China, and China has committed a huge investment in Iran. So again there is a factor other than India action, but due to many various factors Iran is going out from Indian influence and going towards China. So this way we see that Indian neighborhood and extended neighborhood Iran and Afghanistan, India is losing its influence and stake. And this SAARC also, there is no worthwhile progress happening in the SAARC. Meetings are not happening, and there is a lack of trust and coordination among SAARC countries. And we have seen that China, due to effect of China, certain neighboring country of India has become overtly hostile to it. And Afghanistan, where India has spent a lot of investment, did lot of investment, is also slipping from Indian hand, because the negotiation going on for peace with Afghanistan, India is not involved as a party. So here this drastic change and this decrease of Indian influence we see quite suddenly it happened. So here author analyzed and given certain reason. And first reason, what author, as per author understanding, why this sudden change and sudden decrease of Indian influence happened. So author consider that India's close alignment with policies of US is one factor why India has lost this influence. This is clearly visible in the case of Iran and China, because both the country do not have a good relationship with US, and since India is developing a closer partnership with US and aligning its policy with the US policy, naturally China and Iran will lose interest on India, and they will try to they will be in different line, because India is going in towards US line. Since they have a hostile relationship with US, they will definitely will not like to work with India. So the neutrality of Indian foreign policy is being compromised by making a closer alignment of its policy with US and developing partnership. That is the reason what we see that China has taken an aggressive stance against India, and the visible thing we see at LAC, and similarly Iran has removed India from the development of its railway. And other factor which author says is responsible for this loss of influence is coupling of domestic politics with foreign policy. Of late, Indian domestic politics is influencing India's foreign policy as per author assessment, particularly the case of CAA and the change of J&K status. So this movement against CAA has shown the fault line in the Indian polity, and this has antagonized particularly India's Muslims neighbor like Bangladesh and Afghanistan, because this is meant to only cover the minorities of those Muslim countries. And similarly we see that China has reacted hostily to India's change of J&K status, particularly Ladakh region. And in response to that thing, this military standoff happened as per author assessment. So two reasons we see that India's increasingly alignment of its policy with US line, making military alliance with US, particularly this Quad and other logistic related agreement with US, India's domestic politics and how it is influencing India's foreign policy, because this CAA and J&K status are somehow connected with the foreign countries, neighboring countries. So even though they are domestic uh, law, but their implication is international. So these two things we see that directly responsible for India's loss of influence, particularly with its neighborhood and extended neighborhood, and this has brought India in confrontation with China. And another point which author talked about is of having a misplaced confidence. Here author gives the example of China. The way China hides its capacity until unless it becomes strong enough to take on USA, it did not boast of its capacity. It focused on its own internal strength, economy, poverty alleviation, and other infrastructure thing. Once it built up the capacity, got the enough confidence, then only it is challenging the US authority. But in India's case, rather than we are improving, rather than to improve our strength, we are jumping the gun as per author understanding. So India should rein its ambition, not to focus much more internationally, but put its energy, effort, and time for improvement of its economy, improvement of its infrastructure, improvement of its people, and to develop a not to spend energy in fragmented politics polity. So all these things, first we have to keep our house in order, gain strength, then we'll be in a position to challenge China. Until unless we are not in a position to counter China, you have to remember that China is 5 times bigger economically from compared to India. So the best thing as per author is to develop our own capacity. Then only we should go and dictate terms with other country. And we have to see that how our domestic politics is influencing our foreign policy. And we also have to take China into account when we are thinking about developing closer relationship with USA, because India share boundary with China. That is not the case with US and other Quad countries. So we have to be more sensitive and we have to take a decision based on our own strength. So this is the way authors analyze this drastic loss of Indian influence, and what is the future course of action India should take to deal with this situation and to regain its influence. So the first and foremost important thing is to develop strength within itself, because there is no alternative for this thing. US is not going to help you, alliance will not going to help you. We have to help ourselves, like what China did, and we have to buy our bid our for our time. And meanwhile we should handle issues not militarily or through military alliance, but through diplomacy, and focus our time energy in development of our country, development of our people, development of science and technology and other infrastructure project within our country. So this is the analysis of first article. Now I'll go to the second. The second article is editorial. The title of the editorial is In Reverse Gear. So this editorial talks about this EIA, draft EIA, environmental impact assessment. So there is a draft circulated which is going to replace the existing EIA of 2006. So this new EIA and it's a draft, this editorial criticized that draft of EIA, new EIA. So first we see that this draft environmental impact assessment notification has come, and this draft EIA will going to replace the existing environmental impact assessment notification of 2006. But there are shortcomings in this EIA. Those shortcomings are that it will reduce or even remove public participation and of independent expert opinion. So whenever any environmental impact association impact assessment is there, so public also play a very important role in that assessment, because the local people know what way the geographical area environmental factor play a role there. So if any development in particular that region, the local people are a stakeholder, and their participation in assessment of environmental damage due to any industry infrastructure is a very important role they play, and their feedback along with the independent expert opinion is a very important input for any environmental impact assessment. But this new draft EIA will reduce or even remove public participation and of independent expert opinion. So it is a really matter of concern that participation of public, the local public, those who are going to affected by this venture, those public and expert opinion will not have a say in the assessment of environment due to opening of any industry or development of infrastructure. And this draft EIA also says that no cognizance will be taken of public reporting of any violation. So two things we see, that public will not be involved for opening of any venture, and once that venture is started running, the violation of that venture, particularly related to environmental damage, that reporting, if people nearby report of that thing, the government will not take the cognizance of it. So these two things are really important. And for particular case where this related to national park or sanctuary, the only the concerned district where this national park or sanctuaries are lying, those public will be involved for EIA purpose, and those project may be pipeline project. So in case of national park or sanctuary, the district concerned, the district where this national park and sanctuary falls, that district, that people of that district will be involved. So again, limiting the participation of people. And in this draft EIA, section 26 provides a list of projects that would not attract environmental clearance. That means in this draft EIA, section 26 is listing all industries which is not required any environmental clearance. They can, without environmental clearance, they can set up their industry, people can set up their industry. And the same EIA section 14 provide exemption for these and some other project from public consultation. So again, two things: they don't need environmental clearance and they don't also require public consultation. So the effect, what we see the change here, that for environmental impact assessment, public participation is decreasing, and environmental clearance without public participation, industry is getting. So it is making simpler for industry to set up their venture without attracting without involving public participation and without need of environmental clearance. So this will hurry up the development of industry. It will make things easier for them because it's a time consuming process when public hearing and public participation is involved, because there is a lot of stakeholder in public participation, and for any industry to set up in any place, this public participation, public hearing is a endless process, because somebody or somewhere somebody will object to the development of that area due to environmental issues. So industry or government cannot satisfy each and everyone. So the requirement of public participation itself is removed in many cases, and the industry is automatically getting environmental clearance. So the overall effect of this new EIA will be that faster clearance and faster development of the region without much concern to the environment. So editorial criticize this move of government. What editorial says that this draft EIA need wider consultation and some progressive change is required. Whatever the draft is there, in that some change is required and consultation should be wider. Because this consultation should be wider, that also has come through the intervention of Delhi High Court only, because the Delhi High Court has extended the deadline for consultation to August 11. Earlier the deadline was short, now it is extended to August 11. That has come through the intervention of Delhi High Court only. And editorial says that government is using this situation of pandemic to push through this retrograde environmental decisions. So in this pandemic situation where movement, wider consultation, outreach, public participation is not possible, that time, that situation government is using to push through such kind of retrograde decision related to environmental issues. For that the editorial says like these decisions are being done through virtual conference, and similarly this National Board for Wildlife Standing Committee stamped its approval on several projects with serious implication for conservation. So without much deliberation, this National Board for Wildlife has given approval, which require wider consultation, but that has not been done due to this pandemic situation. And in that line, editorial says that this counter argument is being blocked. For this, the editorial says the blocking of some activist website where this about this thing criticism was made, those websites are blocked. And editorial says that it seems government is in a hurry to make change, fundamental change to the process of project approval. So government want that project approval should be made faster without much got delayed due to environmental issues. So here editorial caution us that lost forest and captured wildlife bringing virus reservoir closer to human being. What we have seen in the case of coronavirus, due to interaction of wildlife with human being, this virus got transferred from wildlife to human. So if environmental degradation happen, then we'll lose the forest and that buffer will be lost and will get virus from wildlife to human being, which is a very dangerous situation for human being. So this concludes the analysis of second article. I hope my analysis will help you to improve your understanding. Thank you.